Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I would like to talk about going back to basics. And this is definitely, like I've mentioned before, these videos and these messages that come through me are very much so for myself as much as they are for you. And I just share them because I feel as though they could be useful and helpful to others. So today's message is back to basics. Go back to basics. And this is something that, like, I just love this message because I feel like we very much get wrapped up, as we continue on our spiritual journey and as we progress and so many other things start to unfold for us, it is very easy to get wrapped up in that and kind of forget the basics. And I feel like it's happened like multiple times, like, not that there is beginner, middle, or end, intermediate, or end, or anything like that in spiritual awakening, because it's different for everyone. Some things come through, for example, like intuitive abilities. Some intuitive abilities come right through, and that is what forces someone to awaken. But for me personally, I was awakening for a very long time before I even had the thought that I had intuitive abilities. I even had someone tell me, and it took me 2 years after that before I even acknowledged that I have some sort of intuitive abilities. Like, I always used to joke, like, if, I knew something or said something before somebody was gonna say it, and, how did you know that? And I always would joke, like, I'm psychic. But now, I still say it, but it's not a joke. And I'm not psychic, like, I don't see the future yet or anything like that, but I definitely have some intuitive abilities that I am developing. So, with that said, let's use myself as an example. I've been finding that, like, I've been kind of wrapped up in that and wrapped up in the direct communication and communicating with my guides and, looking at the signs and the synchronicities and, trying to decipher all kinds of things like that. But I have kind of, because we can only put so much in our brain at a time, I have kind of maybe stepped out a little bit from the basics to me. Gratitude. Where are your thoughts? How are you having a positive attitude about things. Bringing your thoughts into a positive place. And this has been brought up for me and reminded to me, I have been given that reminder, and I wanted to share it with you. So if you find, because I have been finding that maybe I haven't been as positive as I normally am, or as, grateful and looking at the bright side, those simple things that I practiced at the beginning of my spiritual awakening journey, that I have kind of maybe lost touch with a little bit because I've been wrapped up in more progressive things for me in my journey. I'm not saying it's progressive in general, I'm saying it's progressive for me, and I love that reminder because, number one, I love it because I love the simplicity of it. I love that no matter how far we journey into our spiritual awakening journey, that those simple, I guess, like law of attraction kind of rules still apply. They still apply, and sometimes it is nice to drop the complicated side of it and go back to that simplicity of purely looking around and being like, wow, I have so much to be grateful for. You know, like for example, like I love my dog and I love him and cherish him every day, but you know, have I really been given thanks for him? Have I really been in the state of gratitude for having, he's under my bed, for having such an amazing companion? A companion that is so loving, unconditionally loving, who is so freaking adorable to look at. You know, all of those things. You know, so to bring yourself back into that state of gratitude for something so simple. I mean, if you're a pet owner, you know it's not that simple, but something as simple as your pet, something as simple as a friendship, you know, something as simple as being able to open the refrigerator and to, I'm getting emotional, to be able to pick out what you want to eat. Something, and to me it's not simple, but I think that it is simple in the way that it is very much taken for granted. If you are in a place that you have freedom, something as simple as freedom, something as simple as basic human rights. I mean, at the time that this video is being filmed, and it applies all the time, but just for a little bit of context, this video is being filmed in August 2021, and Afghanistan has just fallen to the Taliban. And one of the biggest things that's being brought to light is the attitude towards women in the Taliban. And I don't know exactly what it's called. Like, I don't know if it's radical Islamic views. I'm not sure what the proper term for it, where women are meant to be kept in the dark. They are meant to be kept uneducated. They are nothing but an object. They are lower and less than men. And we know now, as enlightened people, that there could be nothing further from the truth. There is not a single person, including the Taliban, that is less than anyone else. So let's touch on this just for 1 second, and then we'll go back to our thing. But let's remember that we are all God, okay? We are all divine beings. And just because some are service to self, or some are acting out of their minds, out of conditioned beliefs that have been in place for thousands of years, doesn't mean that we look down upon them. It doesn't mean that we dehumanize them. The way to conquer them is with the light, is with the love. I saw a meme the other day that says, you know, that said, am I supposed to embrace the devil? It was someone asking God, am I supposed to embrace the devil? And God said, yes. How else are you going to bring them into the light? And I'm not saying that we condone their actions. However, the solution might not be what we've been doing. Maybe it needs not a revolution, but it needs an evolution in how we treat people, how we treat situations like this. And I don't know how we're supposed to do it. I don't know, but I know we're supposed to do it differently. Because if you want things to be different, you have to do things differently. So that is my mini rant, just for a little bit of context, and going back to the basics, going back, you know, the basic human right. Like, I am so grateful that I am a woman born as a United States citizen. So grateful. Cause you don't, I mean, our souls, I guess, on a deep level do pick our incarnation, but our human selves, we really don't pick to be born into here. You or I or anyone else could have been just as easily born in Afghanistan. Has a population of 40 million people, and I guess at least about half of that, maybe a little less, are women. What are the odds that you could have been born one of those citizens that is there right now? If that doesn't bring you to your knees in a state of gratitude, I'm not sure what would. And it is those basic things, those basic privileges that we have, that we need to constantly be in a state of gratitude. And you don't have to constantly be in like, it could, I could be in this situation, it could be so much worse. But when we are bringing yourself back to basics, and you are maybe struggling with trying to find things to be grateful for, I love the saying that if you are looking for something to be grateful for, just look at something that could be taken from you. Basic human rights can be taken from you, therefore they are something to be so grateful for. And you might be like, yes, but I am here, but I am born in a free country and I am free, but the world's crazy and we don't know what's going to happen. What if those freedoms were stripped from you? And I think that a lot of us are facing this right now and looking at it in different ways. So it is those basic things that we need to get back to, those stepping stones. So gratitude is one. And, we talked, I think, enough about how to find what to be grateful for and what that is, and being in that state of gratitude. Another basic thing is our thoughts throughout the day. It is wonderful to meditate, or if you have a spiritual practice like mine is making these videos, it is easy to spend this 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. But then if you go back to sleep for the rest of your day and you're not monitoring your thoughts throughout the day as things come across your screen or to you or at you, however you want to look at it, you need to bring your attention back to that. I need to bring my attention back to that. Where are my thoughts? How am I thinking? How are my thoughts making me feel throughout the day? And yes, it is kind of like, it feels like constant work and it feels like constant maintenance, but that's why we're called light warriors, okay? So we can train our brain to have a more positive disposition. However, but if we are not putting our thoughts in check every once in a while, you might not really know and not really realize that, oh, my thoughts have been kind of, someone said it yesterday, in the trash. My thoughts have been in the trash lately. Well, that is not where your thoughts need to be, because your thoughts create your reality, and we are at a very pivotal, important time of creating our reality, of being on the most optimal timeline. And wanting to be on the most optimal timeline is one thing, but we need to do the actions to keep us on that most optimal timeline. And one of those things is your thoughts, monitoring your thoughts. How are you thinking about things? What are you doing? And the last thing I want to say, so basics of gratitude, basics of thoughts, which thoughts create those feelings. And the last basic that I think that we should get back to is a reflection on our actions. And not exactly judging our actions, but, just reflecting on them. Reflecting, and it's easiest to do this if you do it on a daily basis, maybe at night. Maybe, while you're falling asleep, or not to get too thinking about it, but just a reflection, a time of reflection. How did I act today? How did I act towards others today? What did I say today? Not every little thing, but things will pop up for you. How did, oh, maybe I was a little rude to someone. Maybe I treated someone I didn't. Maybe I showed the ultimate kindness to someone in the moment that they really needed it. Wow, that felt good. Wow, I'm so glad that I did that. Okay, maybe I flipped someone off driving today, they really pissed me off. That's not how I want to act. So next time when I'm in that situation, I would like to do better. I would like to keep my cool. I would like to be a little more responsive and not reactive. And I want to respond in the way that my heart truly wants me to respond. Reflection is so important, and reflection is actually not a basic for me. Reflection is something semi-new to me, but I feel it's a basic in a lot of people do it. A lot of people like, and it's not just spiritual people, a lot of people like stoic people, you know, philosophic people, a lot of reflection is a big part of that. So it is a basic in, it's not exactly an advanced spiritual concept. Reflection is shown in a lot of different aspects of beliefs and society. So those are our 3 basics that we need to get back to. Well, you don't need to do anything, but that I want to keep in my life and get back to: gratitude, thoughts, and what did we just talk about? Reflection. So that is our message for today, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you next time.